Hello all, this is English Joe, Biological Psychology course. In this video, we will discuss and explain the endocrine glands and their functions. You have a set of glands in your body that have to do a lot with your moods, your emotional states, and your behavior in general. Working together, these glands are called the endocrine system. The glands themselves are called the endocrine glands because they secrete their substances directly into the bloodstream without ducts. In contrast, exocrine glands, such as salivary or digestive glands, secrete their substances outside of the bloodstream. The substances secreted by the endocrine glands are called hormones. These, like neurotransmitters, act as chemical messengers. First, let's begin with the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a tiny gland located nearly in the center of the brain. Today's research indicates that the pineal gland secretes a hormone called melatonin. This hormone plays a role in controlling the biological timetable for sexual maturation. Another of its functions is to regulate the sleep cycle. Next, the pituitary gland, about the size of a pea, is located in front of the hypothalamus. As already noted, it is called the master gland because it secretes a group of hormones that affect the action of other glands. Among these hormones are the adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH, a hormone that acts on the adrenal glands, thyrotrophin, a hormone that acts on the thyroid gland, and follicle-stimulating hormone, a hormone that acts on the gonads. One of the hormones secreted by the pituitary gland is growth hormone, GH. GH has an effect on growth and stature. People who are abnormally tall have a pathology of the pituitary gland and are said to suffer from the disease of giantism. The thyroid gland is located toward the base and the front of the neck. It is a relatively large gland and is shaped somewhat like a butterfly. In areas of the world where the soil is deficient in iodine, some individuals develop a disease of the thyroid gland called goiter. The gland can swell to the size of an orange or larger. One of the reasons the salt is often iodized is to prevent goiter. The principal function of thyroxine, the hormone secreted by the thyroid gland, is to regulate metabolism, the rate at which you burn food. If not enough thyroxine is secreted and your metabolic rate is abnormally low, you will tend to gain weight easily. At a behavioral level, you may be sluggish and unenthusiastic. If too much thyroxine is secreted and your metabolic rate is abnormally high, you will have difficulty gaining weight. At a behavioral level, you may be impulsive and hyperactive. There are two adrenal glands, and these are located on top of the kidneys. The adrenal glands produce such hormones as the corticosteroid hormones and epinephrine. The corticosteroid hormones regulate the way the body utilizes substances such as glucose, salt, and water during times of stress. Epinephrine induces an increased sense of arousal and excitement. It plays an important role in the fight or flight reaction, an involuntary process in which the body prepares itself to cope with threatening situations. Psychology has given increased attention to the role that adrenal glands play in the body's adaptation to stress because of the work of the Canadian researcher Hans Selye. Using rats as subjects, Selye discovered that under conditions of chronic stress, the body goes through a series of stages, including resistance and eventual exhaustion, that lead to an early death. The reaction pattern is called the general adaptation syndrome. Post-mortem examinations revealed that the adrenal glands of the subjects were damaged and enlarged. Next, we have the pancreas. The pancreas gland is a large gland located under the stomach. One of the hormones secreted by the pancreas is insulin. Insulin helps to regulate blood sugar. The disease diabetes is associated with an inadequate insulin production. The disorder, chronic hypoglycemia or low blood sugar, is paradoxically aggravated when one consumes too much dietary sugar or too many refined carbohydrates. A person with low blood sugar finds it difficult to concentrate, feel energetic, or otherwise function well. Next, we have the gonads. The gonads are the sexual glands. In females, the gonads are called the ovaries. In males, the gonads are called the testes. Estrogen is one of the principal hormones produced by the ovaries. The secondary sexual characteristics in females, such as minimal facial hair and larger breasts, are determined by the estrogen. Testosterone is one of the principal hormones produced by the testes. The secondary sexual characteristics in males, such as lack of breast development and the presence of facial hair, are determined by testosterone. Now let's review our important vocabulary and terminology for this lesson. The endocrine glands الغدد الصماء. Glands غدد. moods الحالات المزاجية. emotional states الحالات العاطفية. behavior السلوك. secrete تفرز. substances مواد. bloodstream مجرى الدم. ducts قنوات. exocrine glands الغدد خارجية الإفراز. hormones الهرمونات. neurotransmitters الناقلات العصبية. the pineal gland الغدة الصنوبرية. melatonin هرمون الميلاتونين. the biological timetable for sexual maturation الساعة البيولوجية للنضج الجنسي. regulate the sleep cycle تنظيم دورة النوم. the pituitary gland الغدة النخامية. adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH الهرمون الموجه لقشر الكظر. the adrenal glands الغدة الكظرية. thyrotrophin الهرمون المنبه للغدة الدرقية. the thyroid gland الغدة الدرقية. follicle stimulating hormone الهرمون المنشط للحوصلة. the gonads الغدد التناسلية. growth hormone GH هرمون النمو. disease of giantism مرض العملاقة. the neck الرقبة. the soil is deficient in iodine انخفاض مستوى اليود في التربة. goiter تضخم الغدة الدرقية. regulate metabolism تنظيم التمثيل الغذائي. kidneys الكليتين. the corticosteroid hormones الهرمونات الستيرويدية القشرية. epinephrine الأدرينالين. post-mortem examinations فحوصات ما بعد الوفاة. chronic stress التوتر المزمن. the pancreas gland غدة البنكرياس. insulin الأنسولين. ovaries المبايض. the testes الخصيتين. estrogen هرمون الأستروجين. diabetes السكري. to regulate blood sugar تنظيم مستوى السكر في الدم. inadequate insulin production إفراز الأنسولين بشكل غير كافي. chronic hypoglycemia نقص السكر المزمن في الدم. refined carbohydrates الكربوهيدرات المكررة. testosterone هرمون التستوستيرون.